everyone, in today's video we talk about what it's like to live in a small rural town in South Korea. We include some information and tips which could be really handy if you're also thinking of making the move from a big city to a small rural town.
Yeah, we're going to go through all the good, the bad and everything in between, so we hope you enjoy. One important thing about living rural is you need to be in the know of where all the bus stops are.
For example, this concrete slab, bus stop.
No sign, no nothing, just knowledge. So living rural in Korea is a little bit different to what we consider rural in Australia. Back home in Australia, you leave a big city and you just drive for an hour and there'll be nothing for sometimes hours and hours on end, but it is not the same here in Korea. So where we live here in Korea, in Gaesang, tiny little town, the next town over is 5 minutes down that road and the other town is 5 minutes back that way.
And if we want to go to really big cities, it's only about a 30 to 40 minute drive on the bus. So while this little town that we're in is super rural, like tractors everywhere, it's not rural in the sense of Australia. We can go to the city on the weekend and it's not hard at all. So in the rural towns there is more of an aging population, so if you come to Korea by yourself and are wanting to make friends with young people, I probably wouldn't recommend going rural, but because we moved here together and we're working at a school with two other couples, like it's fine for us. We just hang out together and with our work colleagues. So.
Yeah, like 50% of the population here is between 50 and 60. So if you're in that age group, you're gonna live it up.
So when we first came to Korea, we lived in Seoul for 1 month and it was a very fast-paced way of life.
Yeah.
Coming and living rural, I would say it is completely opposite.
Very sleepy, very relaxed, very chilled.
That's the thing, like we come out in the morning at like 8 a.m. and nobody is around.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's no traffic, there's no queues anywhere, buses are always empty.
Oh my lord, so we just crossed the road and we're just thinking of things as we go.
We said no traffic in these small rural towns, but it literally took us like 10 minutes to cross the road because the 4 cars that were on the road don't know how to indicate. Every single one of them did a U-turn.
Yeah,
with
not an indicator in sight. So if you plan to drive in Korea, forget about using an indicator, you don't need it. So Henny and I had both been to lots of Asian countries. We've been to Japan and Indonesia, Vietnam,
Singapore,
Malaysia, Thailand. So we've been to a few Asian countries and we've experienced that most of those countries, people are generally pretty good at speaking English, and we kind of just assumed Korea would be the same. And our first month in Korea, we lived in Seoul, and I think it was a little bit of a shock. How little, it was a big shock, how little English they speak even in a big major city like Seoul. And then we moved rural, and that 50 to 60 age bracket,
We basically live off like a handful of phrases, which is 안녕하세요, hello, 감사합니다, thank you, 네, which means yes. No, we were taught from the Koreans, which they just do this to us.
Big no-no.
And goodbye, which is
안녕히 가세요.
So a really big lesson that we've learned living in a rural town in South Korea is that you have to explore your small town. When you first get there, it looks like, seriously, there's nothing there. But walk the weird streets, walk the back streets, have a look around, and you find some really cool things like this exciting monument. So we're about to go to our favourite cafe, Cafe Rose, which we
Shout out.
absolutely adore. But it did take us a while to find a cafe over here that we really love and feel comfortable at.
Yeah, a big tip for foreigners first moving over. We were warned a little bit before moving over that some Koreans can be a little bit funny, and I think we've certainly experienced that, and everyone else we've spoken to has experienced that too. It's definitely trial and error when going to cafes and restaurants and all that kind of stuff. You'll go into one cafe and they'll just be super rude, maybe just not the biggest fan of foreigners. Then you'll go into other places and they'll just be absolutely amazing with great service and welcome you back every time. It's a little bit hard to know before going in there, but you just got to try them all out and then stick to those awesome places. So to summarize the video, when we first were offered a job in Changnyeong out in rural Korea, we were a little bit worried, I suppose, because we thought it would be in the middle of nowhere with nothing to do. But it turns out it's got everything that we need. It's an awesome little town and we are loving it now. The sky is always blue, it's quiet. What do you reckon?
Much more livable than your rural Australian towns.
Yeah.
Because it's really close to cities. It's just a bus ride away. So yeah. If you liked watching this video and learning about our life in rural Korea and you want to see some of our other adventures, then make sure you like this video, subscribe over here, and also if you have any questions for us about living rural, leave them in the comments below.
Till next time, bye.
Bye.